So this right here is the Lenovo IdeaPad 3, and it has been my daily laptop for a couple of weeks now, and in this video I will be sharing my experience with it. So first, let's get it out of the way already that this is a budget or entry-level laptop mainly focused for productivity. Now with that out of the way, let's start with the design. Now I actually do like the clean and minimal look that it is going for. I think it is pretty sweet and perfect for a daily driver. The build itself is mostly plastic, but it doesn't really feel cheap or have any weird bending or quality issues. It also has a good selection of ports with an SD card reader on the right side and a full-size USB. Now to the left side, it has another full-size USB, an HDMI port for an external display, a USB Type-C port, and a headphone jack, which is really nice to have. Now the device itself is on the bigger side since it is 15.6 inches. I will talk more about the display later, but even though it is on the larger side, it is still portable enough that I can carry it around and fit it inside my backpack. Now due to it being large, they managed to fit a full-size keyboard. The keyboard itself is pretty nice. I really enjoyed using and typing on it. The keys got good travel in them, and I don't really have any complaints about it other than it is not backlit. I think they should have added that since it is very difficult to type on, especially at night. Now that is something to keep in mind, though I do not see it as a deal breaker. The trackpad though is on the smaller side, also something to keep in mind, but it also got a fingerprint reader that is very convenient and actually very fast. So now let's move on to the display. So it is a 60Hz 1080p IPS panel. For some that might be a deal breaker, but the target customer of this laptop is probably not going to care. But yeah, the display isn't really all that great. It lacks color or contrast. Everything really seems to be overexposed in some way, and the viewing angles are just straight up terrible. Though it gets bright enough indoors and outdoors, just don't use it against direct sunlight. And the hinge that holds the display pushes way back almost 180 degrees. I don't really use this feature that often, but it is good to have. So now let's move on to the performance. Now keep in mind that this is a productivity focused laptop. That means gaming isn't really a thing for this guy, especially it's only relying on the CPU for all of its processing power. Though some light games could still be enjoyable like Valorant, I was able to get a consistent 90 to 100 FPS on 1080p, sometimes even more, but don't expect any graphical intensive games coming out from this device. Now as far as what it is supposed to do, it does it pretty well. I mean, it flies through windows, multitasking is also great, content consumption is also enjoyable, and just basic tasks like editing documents and stuff, you can expect that this machine can handle it without any hiccups. And you can only hear the fan crank up when doing heavy stuff such as playing games or watching a ton of YouTube videos. But mostly the laptop stays quiet and cool. Now to the battery. So I was able to get 5 to 6 hours, sometimes even less, basically just doing some schoolworks or watching videos, and I'm mostly on 75% to max brightness, and I'm also on performance mode. Now I do usually plug it in if I know I am going to be doing some battery sucking tasks. But yeah, I don't really have any complaints or whatnot on the battery life. And also it charges pretty fast, so that's a nice bonus. Now some additional things that I haven't yet mentioned. The built-in speaker on this laptop is also decent. Can definitely fill a small room, and it is perfect for watching content or listening to some tunes. Now the built-in webcam is not really good. It's a 720p low resolution camera paired with the built-in mics. Basically they're just good for video calls. Though I gotta mention the physical camera slider off top is actually a nice touch, definitely good for privacy. Now lastly, the storage. Now it comes with a half a terabyte of space, which I think is plenty enough for storing files and apps that you might need. So when choosing my daily laptop, I had some criteria that I wanted to meet. First, it has to be light enough that I can carry it anywhere and fit it inside my backpack. Now I'm not really a big fan of gaming laptops myself. Most of them are thick and heavy, and I'm not really on the gamer aesthetic that they are going for. Plus, I don't really game, and I just want my daily driver to be clean and minimal. Next is, since I'm a student, it has to help me with my schoolworks, basically just editing a bunch of documents and doing some research. Next up is it has to satisfy me with my content consumption, which is just watching a bunch of YouTube videos, animes, or just listening to music. And lastly, it has to be budget friendly. And it absolutely nails all of those criterias. So I'm not really a power user, that's why it's kind of perfect for me. But depending on what you do on your laptop, your situation may vary. For example, if you are looking for a much better performing laptop that can handle gaming or video editing, this might not be for you. So if you are like me, not a heavy user, maybe you need a laptop for school, or you need a budget-friendly laptop, you could definitely consider this. But that is pretty much it for this review. If y'all got questions, make sure to leave them down below in the comments. But that is all. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Peace.